Mm. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you guys for stopping back by. This is Anthony L. Kelly back again with another edition of the Bajillion series. The Bajillion. I have my Bob Marley. Bob Marley. Don't worry about a thing. Anyways, every little thing is gonna be alright. I say you don't worry. Oh man, Bob was the truth. I also have on my robe. You see my nice robe here. This is a $500. I'm just joking. I don't know where this robe. My wife got this robe. This robe might be 10, 15 years old, but it's nice and comfortable. I love the way it feels. I'm a little chilly this morning. But anyways, I told you guys on yesterday that I'm gonna pick it up from the beginning because I had to add some things. I put a little note here on the side so we can see this note. Let's see here. Uh-oh, yeah, we can. All right, describe them walking with fishing equipment, right? So they're going fishing apparently, and they need to have on. They need to have some fishing poles or a reel and a rod and hooks and tackle and bait. They got to have all that stuff if they're going fishing. I didn't say anything about that in the beginning, so that's where we're gonna pick it up. Let me take a sip of coffee, and I just started sipping. And I have my water here. I have a number one dad cup. So I'm going to go ahead and pour up some water. Also, I would like to mention that I'm entering this contest, collard green contest now. For y'all that know me, in my growing skills, my gardening skills, y'all know that's not really a contest for me, right? I gotta put a bag in that trash can. But anyways, yeah, so y'all stay tuned for that as well. I'm gonna make a video about that. Anyways, let's get started. It was another warm morning in Green Pond, a small town with only a handful of stop signs and one blinking yellow light. The charming little settlement sat approximately 13 miles north of Walterboro, South Carolina. What little coolness that had been left behind by the night had all but faded away, and as the fog dissipated by the rising sun, the bajillion day dwellers of the forest were awakening to a new, crisp morning. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and his son walked down the beaten path, brushing away spider webs while looking up and down for creepy crawlers. Anyways, brushing away spider webs. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and his son walked down a beaten path. Brushing away spider webs while looking up and down for creepy crawlers. They were on their way to the fishing hole to catch a few redbreasts for dinner, or perhaps tomorrow's breakfast. With anticipation hovering about both dark faces, they were hoping that after reaching their destination, and like so many other times, a sense of tranquility would take them over. Oh Lord, that's my first sip of water, and it was so good. I'm gonna have to chase it with some coffee. A father and son, and his a father and his son walked down a beaten path. Fishing equipment rattling and hooking rattling and tangling. Tangling with branches. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and his son walked down a beaten path. Fishing equipment. Wow, fishing tackle, fishing. Well, fishing lines. Entangled, hooked and tangled. Excuse me. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and his son walked down a beaten path, while fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches. And as they brushed away spider webs, looking up and down for creepy crawlers, as they were on their way to the fishing hole to catch a few redbreasts for dinner, or perhaps tomorrow's breakfast. All right, that's a long sentence, but is it a run-on sentence? We'll see. Before we go there, though, let me get another sip. By the way, it's only 6:54 in the morning. I've been up for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and his son walked down a beaten path, while fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches. And as they brushed away spider webs, looking up and down for creepy crawlers, they were on their way to the fishing hole to catch a few redbreasts for dinner, or perhaps tomorrow's breakfast. That's not a run-on sentence. That's a long sentence. Now, you read some of these writers, Stephen King, John Grisham. Who else? Who else does that a lot? Stephen King does it a lot, but who else does it? Who else? Dean Koontz. Yeah, Dean Koontz. He does it too. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and his son walked down a beaten path, while fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches, and as they and spider webs were brushed away. And spider webs were constantly being brushed. Come on, computer, keep up. Brushed away. My computer's a little bit slow. Constantly, not constantly. All right. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and his son walked down a beaten path, while fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches. I don't need a comma here. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and his son walked down a beaten path, while fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches and spider webs were constantly being brushed away. Looking up and down for creepy crawlers, they were on their way. They were on the move. They were on the move. They were on. You see what I mean? They were on the move to the fishing hole to catch a few redbreasts for dinner. Or perhaps tomorrow's breakfast. Oh man, I like that. I like that. I feel pretty good this morning, y'all. I feel pretty good. I still got to go out and make this video. Like I said, I think I told you guys. I don't know. I'm entering this collard green contest to win $500. Oh boy! So if y'all can vote for me or whatever, I don't know how it's gonna work, but the contest started like 2 weeks ago, and I just found out about it last night. But it just so happened that I planted collard greens about a month ago. So I don't know how it's gonna work, but I forget his name. The New Orleans gardener, I think his name is. He said I can enter the contest, but I just have to. I'll have to title my video, a certain way, anyways. Basically saying that I'm entering late. I think I'm gonna put a candle right here. Anyways, somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and his son walked down a beaten path, while fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches. Yeah, I'm gonna put a comma there because you need to take a little breath right there. I know some people say, well, the word "and" is the breath, but while fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches and spider webs were constantly being brushed away. Looking up and down for creepy crawlers. There's a little more work that needs to go into this. While fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches and spider webs were constantly being... First of all, I have some type of going on, and I hate that. If y'all notice, wow, I hate that, but I'm reading out loud. Reading out loud, first of all, is so beneficial for your brain. But reading out loud while people are watching you is beneficial for your laziness. It motivates you. It puts pressure on you. So I don't mind it. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and his son walked down a beaten path, while fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches and while fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches. I got to put another "while" here. And while spider webs were constantly being brushed away. All right, then I got to put eyes because I want you to visually see. Eyes were looking up and down for creepy crawlers. As they were on their way, too many words, as they moved, as they continued on, as they continued, continued on. I can't see. It's dark. My keyboard is dark, so I can't see. And I'm not a professional typist, so forgive me for looking down and making adjustments. Somewhere in the lush, somewhere in, I gotta say a, not the. If you say the, then it kind of seems like I've already started a conversation off. This is the beginning of the story, so if I say the, wait a minute, I can say the. It was another warm morning in Green Pond, a small town with only a handful of stop signs and one blinking yellow light. The charming little settlement sat approximately 13 miles north of Walterboro, South Carolina. What little coolness that had been left behind by the night had all but faded away, and as the fog dissipated by the rising sun, the Bajillion day dwellers of the forest, I gotta say a forest, of a forest were awakening to a new, crisp morning. Somewhere in a lush green woods. Now I gotta say the. Some of y'all know why I'm making these changes. Maybe all of y'all, but somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and his son walked down a beaten path while fishing lines I know people are saying, why are you putting "and"? And while fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches and spider webs were constantly being brushed away, eyes were looking up and down for creepy crawlers they continued while they continued to the fishing hole to catch a few redbreasts. I don't need to put any of that. All of this, I don't need to put any of the redbreasts, none of that. It is, well, they continued on to the fishing hole. That's it. All right. Somewhere, okay, give me a second. I'm getting a little warm. Give me a second. And I got to light an incense. All right, I'm back. The incense is lit. And as you can see, the robe had to come off. And while fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches, and as spider webs were, and let me see. Writing is magical, man. It's like real magic. This is not like a sleight of hand. It is a sleight of hand, but it's also real magic, because the writer is, I have the task of painting a picture for you, but at the same time, your mind is your mind, so you're gonna see things the way you see things. So it's like real magic, man. It is, and once you can write in such a way that puts a person in a trance, like good writers do, it's automatic. A reader. I mean, somebody who reads. I want to be that writer who can write something so plain and so simple, yet so beautiful and so enticing and enjoyable to read that, like say a fifth grader, not a fifth grader, but someone who is reading at a fifth grade level or a sixth grade level can read my stuff and get a lot from it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to invoke in every book that I write. You know. That was a huge gulp of coffee. Sorry. Excuse me. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and son. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and son walk down the beaten path, and while fishing, so I'm having to just massage this and massage it and comb through it until I get it, till it sounds right, till it flows. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and son walk down the beaten path while fishing lines hooked. Oh man, this is one of those things, man. The incense smells good though. It smells like money. It's one of those things where I'm not regretting going back to fix it because it wasn't broken. It was just I wanted to add the fact that they're going to a fishing hole. And number one thing when you walking through the woods, I've done this 100 times. You walking through the woods with fishing equipment, the line, the tackle, the bait, the buckets. You got to talk about that alone because it paints a better picture. All right. Somewhere in the lush green woods, a father and son walk down a beaten path. Somewhere in the lush green woods, as a father and son walk down a beaten path. Okay. Somewhere in the lush green woods, as a father and son walk down a beaten path. Somewhere in the lush green woods, as a father and son walk down a beaten path, fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches while spider webs were constantly being brushed away. Okay. Sometimes you just gotta give it a little. Sometimes you gotta take the robe off. You know. Like I said, I can't see. Can't see the keyboard, so I gotta really look at it. Somewhere in the lush green woods, as a father and son walked down a beaten path, fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches and spider webs were constantly being brushed away. Eyes were looking up and down for creepy crawlers as they continued to the fishing hole. Okay, I like that. It's good enough for now, anyways. With anticipation, so I put in fishing lines hooked and tangled with branches and spider webs. So fishing lines, okay. So that's all I wanted to do. It took 23 minutes, took 24 minutes almost to get here, but that's all I wanted to do for that part. So now, matter of fact, let me take that note away so I don't forget that part is fixed now. So the note that I put up earlier said describe them walking with fishing equipment. So I'm gonna put resolved. As a matter of fact, let's reopen that and let's go ahead and delete that. Delete comment. Now it's gone. Let's go back. And for all you guys are watching for the first time, writing, yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. This is not easy work. Let me show you. What in the world just happened here? Let me show you. This is the word count. So it's 98 pages. 98 pages. Right now we're at 25,847 words. Okay? And we're not even halfway there yet. Not even halfway there yet. This is a story that's gonna go for I want to say maybe 250 words, 250,000 words. I mean 250 pages. What am I saying? Okay, so this is what we're gonna start up next time because we are already at 25 minutes. We're gonna start right here, and we'll stop right there. So that's what we're gonna start up tomorrow. Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you for dealing with my stomach growling. I may not put music with this, but if I don't, there's you're gonna have to hear that monster in my stomach because I'm hungry. Anyways, till next time. Thank you again. Leave some comments. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. I think some people are watching my videos, hearing me say leave some comments, suggestions, whatever, but you don't want to rattle any, you don't want to, I don't know why you don't leave comments, but leave comments because I know you do. I know you want to. Anyways, till next time, this is Anthony L. Kelly. Salute to all y'all. Hit that like. I'm out.